He's been a thorn in the side of Turkey's president for a long while and paid for it dearly. An Istanbul court rejecting international calls to free businessman Osman Kavala, who's also a philanthropist, a social activist. He spent 4 years in jail without going to trial. In that time, 2 cases against him have been dropped, only for fresh charges to reappear.
My biggest concern is that this current situation will become usual. It will be normalized and it will be deemed as normal. I would like to stress that this situation shouldn't be regarded as normal.
Borzou Daragahi, there was a rare court date where you are this Friday in Istanbul. The next one's not till January. And basically the judiciary is not blinking in the face of that international pressure. What's this all about?
I think that there is a personal vendetta on the part of Turkey's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, against Osman Kavala. He has called him, quote unquote, Soros scum, referring to the billionaire philanthropist George Soros. And basically, I don't know, no one knows really what the root of this obvious, a very emotional reaction is on the part of Erdogan, but it seems like every time the judiciary tries to do the right thing, which is basically drop all charges against this person because there's really literally no evidence that supports the contention that he was responsible for the 2013-2014 Gezi protests against Erdogan, nor any connection, even more absurd, the 2016 coup attempt, which was basically conducted by people who were Osman Kavala's ideological and political enemies. There's literally no evidence that has been presented or shown in any kind of court or anything like that. And despite that, he's still being held in prison in rather tough conditions. And so no one is quite sure why the government of Recep Tayyip Erdogan is so adamant about keeping this gentleman in jail.
Yeah, Turkey's president threatening with expulsion recently 10 Western ambassadors, including the French, US, and UK representatives. And this for protesting the detention of Kavala. He's one of the founders of the Turkish branch of George Soros's pro-democracy Open Society Foundation.
All the while they say Kavala, Kavala, Kavala.
Kavala, Kavala, Kavala.
The person you call Kavala is the Turkey branch of Soros. 10 ambassadors came to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs just for him.
Kervan Gorgeous, what is it about George Soros's name that sets people off?
I don't know, to be honest. I can't answer that question. It really seems that it's the go-to fall guy whenever you want to dismiss an opponent of some sort, I feel.
Jeremy Stubbs?
Soros, well, he doesn't have a very good reputation in Britain, but for other reasons. That's to do with...
He bet against the pound.
Bet against the pound. But I think that in this particular case, it's... Mr. Kavala's vision of history that is probably the real problem, because by his cultural activities, by the kinds of things he's sponsored, even into archaeology, it's a very open vision of Turkish history which does not correspond at all to the very selective and manipulative vision of history that Erdogan wishes to impose. And we've seen that in many of his recent symbolic demonstrations.
I absolutely agree. Culture is a very important plank of what Erdogan, as a nouveau Ottoman Sultan, is part of his agenda. But he is a very effective populist leader. And whenever the going gets tough, he...
Like when the lira drops 15% in one day this week?
Exactly. And you will know that, when he stands to lose an election, when there are economic problems, he is very effective at pulling out a populist card. And Kavala is definitely being used right now because the Turkish lira is in free flow. Although the Gulf is now coming to help Turkey, but the economy is really his prime problem.